Hello everyone, welcome to today's lecture. Did you understand yesterday's lecture? So yesterday we had started with chapter 6, that is classification of plants. First we studied about Robert Whittaker's 5 kingdom classification. Then we studied about criteria for classification of plants. Then we studied about the 3 divisions, the characteristics of 3 divisions of cryptogams, that is Thallophyta, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta. I had told you to write the characteristics. I had given the homework. For the homework you may refer to the textbook and write the characteristics. For those who don't have the textbook, you may refer to the notes which I write on the board, or the notes which I will be giving, the PDF which I will be sending. Okay, now today we will start with a question on page number 77. Use your brain power question. What is the similarity between plants of the groups Thallophyta, Bryophyta and Pteridophyta, irrespective of the differences in their body structure? So what is the similarity? They all are cryptogams. Okay, they all are cryptogams, and they all are non-flowering. Now what are the similarities? You may see all of them reproduce by spore formation. They all belong to subkingdom cryptogams. Their reproductive systems are not visible. You cannot see their reproductive systems. That means cryptos means hidden and gams means reproductive organs. That is the full form of cryptogams. The meaning of cryptogams: they all are autotrophic. That means they can carry out photosynthesis. Okay, so these are the characteristics of cryptogams, or the similarities between Thallophyta, Bryophyta and Pteridophyta. It is a 2-mark question and it is asked. Now in 9th standard it is very important for you to study the in-between questions, because those questions are asked in your papers, in your schools. Okay, so you have to study the answers of those questions. The answers of those questions you may write in the textbook, because at the time of exams you open your textbook at least. So at the time of exams you should be able to go through it besides the exercise questions. Okay, you have to do the exercise questions also and the questions from the chapter. Okay, now the next is characteristics of phanerogams. Now the next subkingdom is phanerogams. So plant kingdom is divided into 2, cryptogams and phanerogams. Cryptogams are non-flowering, phanerogams are flowering. Now we will see the characteristics of phanerogams. This is a 2-mark question. The question is there in the exercise. Plants which have special features for reproduction and produce seeds are called as phanerogams. So what are phanerogams? They are plants which have special features for reproduction and produce seeds are called as phanerogams. Okay, now the special features, what is the organ of reproduction? It is the flower. They are flowering plants and they produce seeds and they are called as phanerogams. Seeds are formed, that means inside the seed there is embryo. Okay, the stored food, inside the seed there is embryo and stored food. Now what is embryo? Embryo is the smallest form of a flower. You can tell it as a baby. Okay, so embryo is the smallest form of a flower. Inside the seed there is an embryo and there is stored food for that embryo, and this food is used for germination. What is germination? It is the growth of the seed into a plant. That is called as germination. So the stored food is used for germination and the growth of the embryo. Okay, and the third is phanerogams are divided into 2, gymnosperms and angiosperms. Gymnosperms have their seeds open, angiosperms have their seeds enclosed inside a fruit. So what are the characteristics? The first one, plants which have special features for reproduction and produce seeds are called as phanerogams. What is the structure for reproduction? It is the flower. Seeds are formed, okay, and inside the seed there is embryo and stored food. This stored food is used for germination and growth of the embryo. Phanerogams are divided into two: gymnosperms, angiosperms. Gymnosperms have their seeds open and angiosperms have their seeds enclosed inside a fruit. Now the next we will see the two divisions of phanerogams, that is gymnosperms and angiosperms. Now you may write this. Okay, now the next, that is characteristics of gymnosperms. Characteristics of gymnosperms. Gymnos means naked, sperms means seeds. That is the meaning of the name gymnosperms. That means their seeds are open. They are mostly evergreen. Perennial. Perennial means they can flower the year long. Okay, they can form flowers. They are evergreen for the complete year, and they are woody. Stems are without branches, just like coconut tree. Okay, coconut tree does not come under gymnosperms. Okay, but I am giving you just as an example. Cycas comes under gymnosperms. That is only of one wood. Okay, one branch. That is said to be without branches. Okay, that is the meaning of that sentence. Stems are without branches. Bear male and female flowers on different sporophylls of the same plant. What do you mean by sporophylls? Okay, they are actually the flower like structures. They are open. You may see figure 6.4 in the textbook on page number 78. 6.4 on page number 78, they have shown the structure of a sporophyll. Sporophyll is a woody structure. It is not made up of wood. It appears to be woody, but they are actually the flowers. Okay, the male flower and female flower are different. So the gymnosperms bear male and female flowers on different sporophylls of the same plant. This is asked as a fill in the blank also. Leaves form a crown. Okay, so leaves form a crown means at the top of the plant there is a collection of leaves, just like coconut tree. I repeat, coconut tree does not come under gymnosperms. Cycas comes under gymnosperms, but those who haven't seen cycas, you can take coconut tree as an example, just as an example. Now I will tell you why coconut tree does not come under gymnosperms, because their seeds are inside the fruit. Okay, the seed of the coconut is inside the fruit. Okay, so coconut does not come under gymnosperms, it comes under angiosperms. But I am giving it to you as an example to just study the structure. There is a woody structure, there are leaves at the top. Okay, it forms a crown. So leaves form a crown. Seeds do not have natural coverings, that is, they do not form fruits. Hence, they are called as gymnosperms. So, I repeat, what are the characteristics? They are mostly evergreen, perennial and woody. Stems are without branches. They bear male and female flowers on different sporophylls of the same plant. Leaves form a crown. Seeds do not have natural coverings, that is, they do not form fruits. Hence, they are called as gymnosperms. Example, Cycas, Piscia, that is the Christmas tree, Thuja, Morpanki, Pinus, Devdar, etc. While studying the examples, you have to study all the names, okay, because they could ask it as an odd man out question. Okay, so you have to study all the examples. While writing the characteristics, it is very important, it is compulsory to write the minimum of 2 examples. Okay, you should write minimum 2 examples each for every characteristic. Whenever you write the characteristics, the marks could be cut if you don't write the examples. So these are the characteristics of gymnosperms. You may write. Okay, now there is a question on page number 78 under division 1 gymnosperms. The question is, observe all the garden plants like cycas, Christmas tree, hibiscus, lily, etc. and compare them. Note the similarities and differences among them. Which differences did you notice between gymnosperms and angiosperms? Okay, you have to write the similarities and differences between gymnosperms and angiosperms. They have given 4 examples. What are they? The 4 examples are cycas, Christmas tree, hibiscus and lily. Now out of these, cycas and Christmas tree are gymnosperms. You may write it there. Cycas and Christmas tree are gymnosperms. Hibiscus and lily are angiosperms. I repeat, cycas and Christmas tree are gymnosperms. Hibiscus and lily are angiosperms. Now what are the similarities? The similarities, both belong to phanerogams, subkingdom phanerogams. Second, they have special structures for sexual reproduction. Okay, they have special structures for sexual reproduction. Third, they produce seeds that contain embryo and stored food. What is an embryo? It is the smallest form of a plant. It is a baby of the plant inside the seed. Okay, so they produce seeds that contain embryo and stored food. This stored food is used for germination and growth of the embryo. Okay, so these are the similarities. What are they? First, both belong to phanerogams. They have special structures for sexual reproduction. They produce seeds that contain embryo and stored food. Now we will see the differences between gymnosperms and angiosperms. Out of these, cycas and Christmas tree are gymnosperms. Hibiscus and lily are angiosperms. So gymnosperms, they are stems without branches. Angiosperms, they are stems with branches. Gymnosperms, their seeds are naked. Angiosperms, seeds are enclosed inside a fruit. Gymnosperms, they do not form fruits. Angiosperms, they bear flowers which develops into fruits. I repeat, gymnosperm stems are without branches. Angiosperm stems are with branches. Seeds are naked. Seeds enclosed inside a fruit. Do not form fruits. They bear flowers which develop into fruits. Okay. If you are having a question on distinguish between gymnosperms and angiosperms, you can write this answer, and the fourth point will be the example. You have to write the example. What example you will write? You will write under gymnosperms, you may write cycas and Christmas tree. Under angiosperms, you may write hibiscus and lily. Okay, so they can give this question and ask the similarities and differences. It will be a 3-mark question. Otherwise, they can ask the question distinguish between gymnosperms and angiosperms. Okay, this is not there in the textbook. You may write in the textbook or your notebook. Okay, right. Okay, so this is the next topic, that is distinguish between monocot and dicot. This is a very important question, 2-mark question. While writing the distinguish between, you should always see that the characteristics which you write are correct. That means under the monocot, you have to write the characteristics of monocot. Under dicot, you have to write the characteristics of dicot. Many times it happens that under monocot, students write the characteristics of dicot, and under dicot, they write the characteristics of monocot. So be careful while you write the answer. Now the question is distinguish between monocot and dicot. You may write it according to the textbook. You have to make 3 columns and write it as in the textbook. So you may see the first characteristic is seed. The seed in case of monocot is of single cotyledon, and in case of dicot it is of 2 cotyledons. Okay. Now in the textbook this is given as monocotyledonous and dicotyledonous. Now what do you mean by monocot and dicot? Okay, so monocot and dicot means if it is of only one part. In case of corn, maca, or what do you say, corn, sweet corn, if you might have observed, you cannot divide it into 2 parts just like that of in groundnut. Okay, you can divide groundnut into 2, but you cannot divide corn into 2. Okay, so such seeds which you can divide into 2 are called as dicot, and which cannot be divided into 2, it is said to be monocot. So in monocot it is single cotyledon, in dicot it is 2 cotyledons. The next characteristic is root. In case of monocot, it is fibrous root. Now what do you mean by fibrous root? If this is the plant, okay, if this is the plant, their roots will be like this. Okay, from the beginning itself there are branches, it is said to be fibrous roots. Whereas well developed in case of primary root, it is also said to be tap root. In case of dicot, the well developed primary root or tap root. That means if this is the surface and this is the plant, then there is a primary root and from that the roots develop. Okay, that is said to be tap root. Have you understood the difference between fibrous root and tap root? Fibrous root means at the beginning itself there are branches. Tap root means there is a main root which is said to be the primary root, and from the primary root the branches appear. So in case of monocot it is fibrous roots, in case of dicot it is tap root. Okay. Now the third is stem. In case of monocot there are three different types. First one is hollow, just like that of in bamboo. You might have seen bamboo. So inside the bamboo there is a hollow space. So such type of branch formation, that is said to be hollow. Second is false. False means it is not completely hollow, not completely solid. Okay, just like big plants, their stem is completely solid. Now in case of banana, it is not completely solid. There are air spaces in between. It is not completely hollow. It is not completely solid. Such type of stems, it is said to be false. Example, that of in banana. And disc like in case of onion, the upper part which you cut off, that is the stem. Okay, the hard part of the onion, that is said to be the stem of onion. So disc like in case of onion. Whereas in case of dicot, it is strong and hard. For example, banyan tree. Okay. Now the next characteristic is of leaf. The leaf in case of monocot, it is of parallel venation. For example, in case of grass or banana tree, if you see, if this is the leaf of banana, there is a rib in between, and you may see the lines are like this. Okay, the lines are like this, they are parallel to each other. So that is said to be parallel venation. Whereas in case of dicot, it is reticulate venation. Reticulate venation means if this is the leaf, okay, this is the leaf, there are different developments like this, different veins which could be seen. Just like as we draw when we are told to draw a leaf. Okay, when we are told to draw a leaf, very few students draw like this. Generally all of us draw it like this. Okay, because most of the dicot plants, bigger trees, are having leaves like this. So dicot is having reticulate venation, monocots are having parallel venation. And the last characteristic is that of a flower. In case of monocot, the flowers are with three parts. Okay, it is a set of three petals. So three parts or multiples of three. It could be three or in multiples of three. It is said to be trimerous. In case of dicot, flowers with 4 or 5 parts or in their multiples, it is called as tetramerous or pentamerous. Okay, so it could be 4 or 5 or in multiples or 4 or 5. It is said to be tetramerous or pentamerous. So what are the differences between monocot and dicot? The first is of seed. In case of monocot, single cotyledon, dicot, two cotyledons. Root, fibrous root, tap root. Stem, hollow, false or disc-like. Hollow as in case of bamboo, false as in case of banana, and disc-like as in case of onion. Dicot, strong, hard in case of banyan tree. Leaf, it is parallel venation in monocot, reticulate venation in dicot. The last one is flower. Flowers with three parts or in multiples of three, trimerous in case of monocot, and tetramerase or pentamerase in case of dicot. So these are the differences between monocot and dicot. It is a 2-mark question, very very important question. Generally all the question papers have this question either in your unit test or in your term end exams. Okay, so don't forget to write this, to learn this answer. It is there in the exercise also. Now we will see the try this question on page number 78. Okay, you may write the answer in the textbook. They have given some seeds and you have to classify them into monocot and dicot. Okay, so you may see page number 78, the third last paragraph. Okay, that means the third paragraph from below, it is here. Okay, here. So soak the seeds of corn, beans, groundnut, tamarind, mango, wheat, etc. in water for 8 to 10 hours. After they are soaked, check each of the seed to see whether it divides into 2 equal halves or not and categorize them accordingly. Okay, you have to classify them into monocot and dicot. I'll tell you the answer. Corn is a monocot, beans is a dicot, groundnut dicot, tamarind dicot, mango dicot, and wheat monocot. Okay, at the top you may write either M or D. M stand for monocot, D stand for dicot. This question is also asked. I repeat, corn, it is monocot, beans dicot, groundnut dicot, tamarind dicot, mango dicot, wheat monocot. So corn and wheat are monocots and all others are dicots. Okay, so you may write the answer in your textbook and you may write the distinguish between monocot and dicot. I will be giving you as homework. Okay, now write. This is the homework for today. So the homework is write the characteristics of phanerogams and gymnosperms. You may refer to the textbook and write in points, not in paragraphs. Okay, and those who don't have your textbooks, you may write the points which I write on the board. Distinguish between gymnosperms and angiosperms. Again, I had given you on the board. You may write those points. Monocot and dicot, for that you may refer to the textbook. Draw diagrams of. Yesterday I didn't give you to draw the diagrams. Today you have to draw the diagrams as homework. Spirogyra, Funaria and Mertensia. Now these are the questions which are generally asked. Okay, the diagrams, these diagrams are asked. Okay, so this is the homework. So you may do the homework. So we have finished with the portion with the chapter. Okay, so for the first chapter, that is chapter 6 from section B. Okay, science 2. Hope you have understood the chapter. If you are having any doubts, you may ask. Okay, thank you.